Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Standing O with Bud Mervyn, that's me. I'm your Broadway critic at large, and this week is our special London show. That's right, you heard right. Rodney and I took a trip over the pond, like they say, across the pond, and went to London, where I was so excited because I've never been on a plane before, and it was quite an experience, and I got to see plays in London, and I'll be talking about one in particular, my favorite one, a little later in the show. But I would like to say a couple of things about my experience traveling, because, as you know, I've never been out of the country. It was my first plane trip, and listen, if you're going to go on an airplane, I've learned this, get there early, because they don't wait for you. I went to the theater, but let me tell you a little bit about London, too. It's very, very different than New York. I couldn't understand, quite honestly, a lot of what the people said in anywhere we went. But thank God Rodney was with me, because it was sort of the blind leading the blind. We saw Big Ben, which is a huge clock, and I don't know what else it does there. There's a big river there, kind of like the Hudson River, the East River, but it's called the Thames, and that was beautiful. We rode in those double-decker buses, and we got in a London cab, which was a fiasco, by the way. Rodney and I didn't understand. We should have stayed on the... I thought you couldn't drink the water there. And so I was a little dehydrated the whole time. But then Rodney said, Uncle Bud, what does it matter? Have a drink of water. And he said, that's Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting off track. As usual, I know Rodney... Uncle Bud, you're getting off the... Stay on point. That brings me to what I'm good... Okay, here's the play. I saw many plays. I saw them all. I even saw a couple of ones I've already seen on Broadway. My favorite show that I saw was this. It's called The Audience. Don't get confused, because I was a little confused. Rodney kept saying, we're going to go see The Audience. I said, what do you mean? We see audiences all the time, Rodney. But that's the name of the play, and it's about Queen Elizabeth, who is their queen. And they call it, the British people call them, it was with the fabulous Helen Mirren, who is one of my favorite actresses, and she plays Queen Elizabeth. And the significance of the title is this. I'm still jet-lagged! She lives in a big castle, and it's called Buckingham Palace. I saw it too. And every Tuesday, I guess, the Prime Minister, who's like their president, he goes to see her, and he bows down, and it's called She's Having an Audience with him, or he's the audience. I think he's the audience. Here's the program, and it was a simple set, and she's sitting there, and they changed. She went from, she's been queen a long time, and so there's been many prime ministers that come and see her. The great Winston Churchill. I wish I had my cigar. I could do a little imitation for you, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I get bit by the theater bug. I'm Winston Churchill. That was pretty good, right, Rodney? And then there were other prime ministers. I only know a couple of them. Tony Blair, I know him, but he wasn't in it. Oh, I'll tell you somebody else who was in the audience. In Helen Mirren's, it was Margaret Thatcher, she's the one who died. It was a wonderful production, and the audience liked it Almost better than I did because I think they understood it. I don't know. I think they were saying to me, hey, you figure it out. Okay, Rodney. Next week, I'm forgetting. Cheerio, England. Ta-ta, England. Now we're back in New York on Broadway. So next week, I'm going to be reviewing back on Broadway shows, back in New York. Maybe I'll go again someday. I don't know. The plane ride was rough. Here's Bud Mervyn signing off, wishing that all your engagements get a standing O. What is it, Rodney?